Welcome back to SEC Women's Gymnastics, presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. As the #1 ranked Oklahoma Sooners host the 10th ranked Missouri Tigers. I'm Bart Connor alongside Olympian Bridget Sloan. Let's catch you up on some of the action earlier tonight. Guess what? In Athens, Georgia, they had a special guest. None other than Simone Biles, the most dominant gymnast in history, along with her husband, Jonathan Owens. They were special guests tonight. She came in on her private jet to Athens to cheer on the team that is now coached by her former coach, Cecile Kankito-Landi. The SEC headlines, all 9 teams in the conference are in the top 20. LSU holds off the Florida Gators. Haley Bryan clinching it with a 9-9 tonight. And Kentucky tops #3 Alabama. What a news and notes. Let's talk about the SEC Gymnast of the Week, Bridget.
We've got a lot this week. Starting off, SEC Gymnast of the Week from Florida, Leanne Wong won her 15th career all-around title, and joined by co-specialist of the week, another Gator, Danny Ferris, and LSU's Ashley Cohen, sharing that co-specialist of the week. And we've got a pair of co-SEC Freshman of the Week, Kaylin Shio from LSU, and Oklahoma's very own Lily Peterson.
You ready?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, beautifully done.
There's no resting in the SEC.
What a performer.
Feeling like I'm levitating, sky high, elevated, hot sunshine.
Right, and we got another gymnastics doubleheader right here on the SEC Network at 6:30 Eastern. #7 Florida hosts #15 Georgia, and then at 8 is #1 Oklahoma squares off against Alabama. And coming up, you're not going to want to miss this next 4th and final rotation. It'll be Helen Hu on the beam for Missouri, and you're not going to believe this incredible story of this young lady. And Faith Torres, one of the most explosive tumblers in the country, will be on the floor for the Oklahoma Sooners. Helen Hu took off a year and came back, and she is as spectacular as ever. Faith Torres will delight on the floor when we come back. SEC Women's Gymnastics is presented by Sprouts Farmers Market, official healthy grocer of the Southeastern Conference. From 20 to 23, 36, 9-9 pluses on bars and beam. Then she missed 2021 season with a torn ACL. She decided to retire after the 2023 season and decided to travel around the world with her sister. They did a backpacking tour starting in Europe and then through Asia and South America. And then she surprised Shannon Welker. She came back to town for a wedding of a teammate, and Shannon says, how would you like to do a little more gymnastics? You have one more season of eligibility left. And she said, okay, I'm in. Can you imagine taking off? What do you call a gymnast who takes a year off?
Retired.
All right, we'll see her. She is a rock, and she'll be their final competitor on beam in this 4th and final rotation. Missouri trails Oklahoma by .625 as Addison Lawrence leads them off here.
Addison is a great leadoff for Missouri because she's so calm. She is just a calm, collected starter. Beautiful side aerial to back handspring.
Lawrence, a junior from Olathe, Kansas, did her club training at Gage Gymnastics. Several elite national team members come from that program.
Slight balance check there. You saw that foot pop off the beam. That will be a deduction. Dismount. But a stuck round off 1.5 dismount. Really nice start for Missouri.
Help people affected by the California wildfires in 2025. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. Audrey Davis is our leader in the all-around competition tonight. She's had a 9.925, a 9.95, and another 9.925. She is in the leadoff spot on floor in this fourth and final rotations. The Sooner have the lead.
Audrey opening up. Handspring double twist. Beautifully executed. This is such a fun routine for Audrey.
AJ Kindler does the choreography every year for all the Sooners and prides herself on unique music and really fun routines.
Around that 1.5 to front full. You see she dances out of her passes. Making sure that even if she's a little short, she can cover it up. AJ said every floor routine this year is just nonstop movement. Audrey showing just that. I don't think she stopped smiling the entire routine. What a leadoff and what a night for Audrey Davis. Has not scored anything below a 9.925.
In 4 years at Oklahoma, she's done 218 routines and hit 217 of them. Last year, she didn't miss a routine, and she was in the all-around in 11 of their 16 meets.
Pretty good. Pretty good, Bart. Audrey is definitely an athlete you want on your team.
Amy Weir now, St. Louis.
Amy coming after Addison, leading off that 9.825.
Amy is a transfer from the University of Oklahoma, so she's familiar with the Lloyd Noble Arena. Talking to Shannon Welker earlier this week, he talked about really strategically using the transfer portal to fill some spaces where he needed athletes. There's only one all-arounder here tonight, Amari Celestine. But he was quite methodical about how he went and said, we need somebody here on beam, we need some more bars, we need some more vaulters to put together his team this year. And he has 8 or 9 newcomers this year, with the freshmen as well as those athletes who joined in the transfer.
Coaches always talk about teams being brand new every season, but he really does have a brand new team between the transfers and the freshmen. But one thing I love about Amy, this is our first time seeing her tonight, so she had to wait through the first 3 rotations to showcase this beam routine. Is an excellent beam worker. And a stuck dismount. Coming after Addison's 9.825. Bart, I feel like they're going to be growing in scores, itching to hit hopefully a 9.9 in this beam rotation for Missouri. We have a cartwheel, the gainer full dismount, lifts off the beam and gets the stick.
So we go from the graduate student, Audrey Davis, who gets a 9.925, a career high for her on beam in the leadoff spot of all things, to the freshman Addison Feda. Herself having a solid day with a high score so far, a 9.9 on bars.
Handspring front double twist. Looked like she lost her footing just a little bit on that landing. Normally does a jump out of that first pass. to 2.5 twists.
I mentioned earlier that she was coached by her parents, Tony and Jen Beta, at their club in Pennsylvania. She said she basically grew up in the gym since she was a baby.
She first stepped foot in the gym at 2 days old. One thing Addison did tell me, though, is her gymnastics career was always her choice. She loved the sport. As her parents being her coaches, it might be thought that they pressure her into that, but she was very clear with me. She was like, no, I love this sport. It was my choice, and she is having the time of her life here at Oklahoma.
Sunday, we've got women's basketball here on the SEC Network at 1 Eastern. Catch the number 5 LSU Tigers as they square off with Florida. Then at 3, Ole Miss takes on Mississippi State. And next Friday, we've got another gymnastics doubleheader right here on the SEC Network at 6:30 Eastern. Number 7, Florida hosts number 15, Georgia. Then at number 8, it's the Oklahoma Sooners, the top-ranked team in the country, square off against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Griffin waiting for the judges to tabulate their scores. Might be a good time to bring up something I mentioned earlier. There's a new oversight committee that's overseeing all the judging this year, and the mandate basically is to make sure there's more consistency around the country and to make sure that judges are basically staying within the rules, because sometimes, you know, excitement builds and all of a sudden scores build, and a lot of people think, well, my goodness, you know, did she really deserve a 10? Well, it was maybe a situational 10 that led to that circumstance. How do you feel about this new judging oversight system?
I think it's a little early still. I do, but I think it's going to be really tough to get that perfect 10 now. Not to say that the 10s that were given last year were not deserved. I know I had a couple 10-0s that I definitely didn't deserve, so I understand that. But these athletes, they're just out there doing their favorite, which is gymnastics. And the judges will judge. But
the whole point of this system is a pilot program is to just sort of rank judges based on their accuracy and consistency, hopefully rewarding them with postseason assignments. They hope to use that system in more full force next year. This year, as you mentioned, it's a pilot program. But I do believe it's going to make a judge hesitate whether they're going to write down a 10 or not, because they know they're being highly scrutinized by their peers.
Kennedy Griffin so far, very clean in this balance beam routine. She's coming after Amy Wu's 9.825. We have a pair of 9.825s for Missouri. Weak combination there. Kennedy not afraid to go big on balance beam. She gets high on her jumps. Just the dismount. Back handspring 1.5, really a challenging dismount. We see a lot of round-offs, getting that momentum. Out of the back handspring, you have to build that momentum really quickly. She gets her feet to the beam quick. Little under-rotated, you saw that hop backwards. But overall, a very nice, clean hit routine for Kennedy Griffin.
Well, this is a debut for Elle Mueller on floor. First appearance for the Sooners. She's in for Danny Sievers, who is sitting out this week with a little bit of an ankle tweak. And so excited to see what freshman Elle Mueller can deliver here.
It's up with that combination pass. Front through double tuck. Perfectly done. To her Rudy, a little under rotation on that combination pass.
Oh, the music just draws you in. Fantastic.
AJ definitely knows how to pick the music for each athlete. Elle Mueller, her debut on floor exercise here in front of her home crowd. That's always an exciting moment to compete in front of your home crowd for the first time. But this final pass, it's a front layout into a front 1.5. You see she hops sideways. She just didn't quite get her chest up on that landing.
You can see why she's here at Oklahoma. That's exactly the kind of gymnast that AJ Kindler recruits. She comes out of the Twin City program, where, of course, Maggie Nichols is from, and many other great champions. Elle Mueller, a highlight there on floor for the Sooners. Amari Celestine coming after a 9.675 for Kennedy Griffith.
Gorgeous combination. Back handspring into a side aerial. And Amari had the uncharacteristic mistake on floor exercise. Has to put that to the side for here on beam. Front tuck. We did not see a lot of those in college. I like when athletes do little different elements.
Celestine, the only athlete competing for the Missouri Tigers in the all-around tonight. Highest score so far was the 9.85 on vault for her. Why don't you see a lot of front somersaults on beam?
They're kind of hard, and they hurt your feet.
Okay, fair enough.
And when you're competing every single weekend, you got to protect your body. But what I love is she keeps that chest up. Really beautifully done. And then gainer full right off the side. Would love to see her get off the beam just a little bit more to get a little height. But, man, sticks that, and she's excited.
Nice routine to finish out the night for her. Lily Peterson now after Elle Mueller got a 9.875 in her floor debut. Audrey Davis so far in the leadoff spot with their high score, the 9.925.
Saves it, stays inbounds. You don't want to see those athletes go out of the white square.
You step over the line, it's 1/10 a point deduction in addition to the deduction for the large step.
Handspring double twist.
Back-to-back freshmen here, Elle Mueller and now Lily Peterson, both from Minnesota.
One thing KJ said about these freshmen is that really the entire class has just bought into the program. And it shows. I mean, these freshmen are stepping up and stepping out for Oklahoma. They've got so much talent on this team.
They have 9-10 routines from the freshman class in this competition tonight. That is substantial. out of 24 competitors altogether, 24 performances altogether, nearly half coming from freshmen. Rayleigh Jackson on beam now. Mari Celestine had a 9.725.
Handspring, nice smooth transition. Judges are looking for the combinations to break because that's where the deduction will come from. Really making sure the judges do not see any deductions so far. She's so precise, intentional with every single movement. Just the dismount. This has been nearly perfect.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Gorgeous. From freshman to freshman to freshman, Rayleigh Jackson, the freshman from Park Forest, Illinois. Well done.
And this dismount, check out the height she gets. She finds that landing. You saw her head waiting patiently, didn't want to look too quickly to find that landing. And wow, really nice job.
Second to last on floor for the Sooners will be Jordan Bowers. I mentioned earlier that after becoming the Big 12 Gymnast of the Year and winning the all-around title, guess what? She got engaged. That was a pretty good day. Raydell Gamboa, the former OU gymnast, proposed to her last year at those championships. She is a senior this year from Lincoln, Nebraska. And I think you're going to enjoy this routine. She has a different style. She's very fierce and gritty, as AJ Kindler says, and she almost looks angry, although that's not what her personality is pretty light. But when she's competing, she is dialed in, and she almost looks mean.
KJ said her floor personality is serious. And this routine, it took a while for them to find the perfect piece of music. They actually combined a handful of pieces for this one, and this is where we just sit back and watch.
Moonlight Sonata.
It's a story. I mean, it's an absolute storytelling of a routine. Her tumbling is impeccable. This first pass, handspring, double twist, punch front, so much time in the air, and finishes with this round of back handspring, double pike.
Great control on the landing. There's Raydell. He's happy with it. She has scored 4 perfect 10s on floor, including 3 consecutive 10s in 2024. As Tom Haley, one of the associate head coaches, gives her high fives. Now this is Helen Hu. An amazing story about this young lady who competed until 2023, and then during her career had an ACL tear and a redshirt year, which she didn't take. Took a year off to travel the world with her sister and backpack, and then came back. How in the world can she do that, Bridget?
I don't know, Bart. I really don't. That is so impressive to take the year off, come back, look even better. This is Helen's event. She's waited 3 rotations, 5 athletes on this beam rotation for this moment.
6 times she scored 9 9.75s on beam. She said she wants to complete her career by getting that perfect 10 finally. Oh my goodness.
Showcasing not just difficulty, but the flexibility that she has.
Wow.
A work of art. That is a work of art beam routine. She's excited, as she should be. Just a gorgeous beam worker. I'm not sure how you learn how to do that, but she does it very well. And a gainer pike off the end. Shannon has got to be happy that she is back, and especially in this beam lineup.
And I bet she's glad she came back for one final year after taking a year off. And to compete at such a high level, what a treat. Faith Torres will wrap it up for the Oklahoma Sooners, who have this one in the bag. Jordan Bowers before her, a 9.975.
Faith, the only one with this pass in this Sooner lineup. Gorgeous double layout.
Over there on beam, it looks like Helen, who got her 10 that she came back for in just the early part of the season at an away meet. We'll be back to talk about more of her in a minute, but how about Faith Torres? What an explosive performer on floor.
Front tuck, step out into her double tuck. Perfect landing. Amazing job for Faith. She's an athlete in my eyes that every single year she just gets better and better. You can see the confidence that she brings to her routines. Outstanding job. Last pass we see here, front through to double tuck. You see her chest, her arms, they just are exactly where they need to be to get that perfect stick.
Last year's NCAA runner-up, she earned a 10 at the Big 12 Championships. And Helen, who might just be the moment of the night. Nearly impossible to take a year off of high-level gymnastics. She decided to come back after a year off and take one more shot at a redshirt season. And after several 9.975, 6 in her career, she gets a 10. And how about this? We're going to finish this meet on a pair of 10s because it looks like Faith, no, maybe not. There's one judge through a 10.
And a 9.95.
And a 9.95. And it looks like the score for Faith Torres is a 9.975. The Sooners will win this one by more than a point over Missouri, but Missouri got a bright moment tonight with Helen Hu's perfect 10. And we were covering it live. We'll be back to wrap this one from Norman, Oklahoma after this. Nobleson of the Oklahoma Sooners, the heavy favorite, win tonight over the visiting Missouri Tigers. And there's the queen of gymnastics, Nadia Comaneci, the first perfect 10 in Olympic history, congratulating the Oklahoma Sooners on their victory tonight. I'm Bart Connor, along with Bridget Sloan, and we had a thrilling night tonight. We saw some really high-quality gymnastics. We're just in week 3. Of course, Audrey David was impeccable for the Sooners in the all-around.
Audrey is money. I mean, every time she competes, she is just money. One thing I love about Audrey, she's not afraid. She's not afraid to be thrown in the lineup, starts things off with a stuck ball, and then her work of art bar routine.
This could have been a 10 in my book.
It was a 10 in my eyes, Bart. And then over to Beam in that leadoff spot. So difficult. Again, just an athlete. She's never afraid, no matter where KJ puts her, and ends things on floor with a nearly perfect routine. Such a fun floor routine, such a fun athlete to watch, and she is back having the time of her life.
The graduate student took one more year to finish off her career as a Sooner. 39.725, a career high in the all-around for Audrey Davis here at home. The first meet for the Oklahoma Sooners in the Southeastern Conference. But the highlight of the night has to be Helen Hu from the visiting Missouri Tigers, talking about coming back from a year off with hopes of finally getting her first perfect 10, Bridget.
I'm speechless that we got to witness that. I mean, you take a year off, you come back, you want that perfect 10, and you get it. Wow.
What a night for Helen Hu. So honored to be able to see here tonight get that first perfect 10. The Oklahoma Sooners led from start to finish as expected. Missouri Tigers on the rise. This is a great program, and they will be challenging for championships soon. Audrey Davis gets the all-around 39.725, a career high for her. Helen Hu's perfect 10, a highlight for tonight. A decisive win for the Oklahoma Sooners. Our final score, Oklahoma 197.775, Missouri 196.75. Join us next week for another Friday Night Heights doubleheader as number 15 Georgia takes on rival number 7 Florida, and number 1 Oklahoma heads to Tuscaloosa to face number 3 Alabama. So glad you all joined us tonight, and we got to see history in the making for Helen Hu. For Bridget Sloan and our entire crew, I'm Bart Connor. So long from Norman.